Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the JKWD podcast. What's going on? Hope this is a great moment in your world. Kelvin, what's going on with you?
You just got me again. You keep doing that. Anyway, life is good. I am happy and healthy and stuff like that. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Great.
How you like that?
I like it.
Weather's even cooperating around here. It's been warm. The skies have been blue. We haven't had any of the R word recently.
The R word?
Rain stuff. So
you don't have to shovel rain. That's always been my...
That is correct. That is a plus to rain. Of course, I get less wet with snow. But, you do what you do.
Because you're not playing in it enough.
That is also correct. That is also correct. We're not playing out in it. I love looking at it falling on the deck in the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very pretty to watch on TV.
Yeah, very much so. So it's good. How's your week been?
We're good. I guess this doesn't release for 8 more days, or a week and a half or whatever. But as of this recording, we were just up in Syracuse a few days ago, and we got to see you, and we got to see some old friends and meet some babies, and wish my wife's uncle George a happy 80th birthday.
And that was a surprise, right?
Yeah, well, the surprise party only goes so far when you're being brought to a restaurant that is closed on Sundays, and it's Sunday afternoon, and there are 60 cars out front.
It was a surprise until the time.
Well, and then where are we going? We're going to the Ridge. Something must be going on because the Ridge is closed today.
Yeah.
But it was a venue that we got married at, so it was it was nice to be back there, see how they're doing. Place still looks good. They changed the golf course to disc golf, and but otherwise, still a lovely little place with good food.
Awesome. Well, you were probably the last really good party they had anyway, so. Based on my recollection.
It was a pretty good party.
It was. So, yeah.
And you're looking good.
Thank you.
All the baby weight I put on came from you. It came from you.
That wasn't my intention, actually. But I figured that pretty soon you're going to be out and about in the world,
Yeah,
around Savannah and stuff.
Yeah, my intention is to sign up for a couple of longer races toward the end of next year, so that I can. It really will be starting from scratch, since it'll be, almost a year really that I haven't put more than a mile and a half, 2 miles together.
Wow. Are you looking forward to getting back to that?
Yeah, very much. Very much. For as much as meditating every day has really helped settle me a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like recharging your phone battery from 5% to 20%. You get enough use out of it, but not. You gotta kind of limit what apps you can use and all that, and then but the exercise will really kick me back up into gear, and you can probably hear You probably hear the baby.
I hear some happy over there. I do.
Yeah.
Well, it was happy a second ago. Yeah.
Yeah, she's still pretty happy. I think she just wants a little more to eat. She's growing, and
Awesome.
Skip baby food altogether.
Oh, really?
Yep, she went right from. I mean, she'll still take her bottle, but don't give her any of that pureed stuff in a jar.
Oh.
She wants meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, and you're cooking ribs too sometime, right? So
that's right.
She got the ribs yet?
No, she hasn't had the ribs yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she had a little bit of chicken the other night, and yeah.
Sweet.
And one thing that sometimes we do with the mashed potatoes is when you're boiling the potatoes, little bone broth. Rather than just boiling them in water, spice up your sides.
Which one are you using this time?
I still like the turmeric ginger, but for this, I actually like the chipotle beef. It's a little spicy, little smoky. Gives you just a little flavor, and I'm not a gravy guy, but it almost tastes like you're building the gravy in if you're using the beef broth to boil the potatoes. So you don't have to worry about that drizzly. What the heck is in this stuff? Because I know what's in the bone broth. You boil bones for 10, 15, 20 hours, and with organic herbs and spices and veggies, and it's all good stuff. And you can get 10% off by going to kettleandfire.com using code BetterHumanhood at checkout. That's Kettle and Fire, KETTLEANDFIRE.com. Use code BetterHumanhood at checkout for 10% off. Let's run the music.
Good idea.
Shall we?
Josh and Kelvin World Domination Podcast, where we talk about better humanhood and teach you how to dominate your world. You ready? Here we go.
Yeah. Hey, all right. Well, you know what today is?
What's today?
Today is September 30th, which means that this year is 3/4 over.
I'm hearing rumors.
So in the words of
that sounds like we're moving on through the year.
We're chugging on through. If you hope to get something done in 2019, your time is running short. In the words of the great Steve Miller, time keeps on ticking into the future. You're welcome. Now that'll be in your head for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it will too.
But it's always a good time to start if you haven't yet. Always a good time to start. We're getting confirmation here.
That's right. That's right. So
if you haven't started, why not today? Why not today?
Today is a good day to start. There are people actually forming businesses every day.
Yeah.
Including this one. So it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, a lot of people look at the calendar and say, oh, we're close enough to the end of the year. I'll make this my New Year's resolution. I'll wait till the start of 2020. Don't. don't. There's no need to wait 3 months. If this is something you need to take action on, take action on it right now. Do one thing. Put this on pause. Do one thing toward action, even if it's writing down your first action. Do one thing toward whatever you need to get done.
A lot of times, I know even with projects I start now, they'll run through my head. Look at that smile. They'll run through my head, but I started, I use a Franklin planner, which is, I don't know, it's probably it's a lot for a planner, but I still love it. I started using it in the 80s. I'm slow to change.
But I stopped. Piece of planning.
I'm sorry?
That is a big, thick piece of planning.
It is. It's got a lot of stuff in it. And, I used to, I stopped making lists since I started having the phone and the online calendar and stuff. I stopped making lists for a while, and you miss that tactile connection between making a list, handwriting stuff and actually having it sink into your brain and stuff.
Yeah.
And I find that I remember things a lot better. I'm a lot better organized if I'm actually writing them down. Look at that smile. Yeah.
Yeah, I've resisted paper planners for a while, and I finally picked one up. And it is a not safe for this podcast planner.
You're correct.
Try to keep the E off. But I recognize that when I write things in it, I get more ideas at the time, and I have space to write them down without, sometimes you're doing that, you're entering stuff into a phone. If you have another idea, you have to actually switch apps to get it down, and by the time you get to the new app, is gone. The idea is gone.
Oh yeah, I hate
so
that.
It's nice having the space right there.
And I got pages, so I'll sit down and make my task list out, and I can check them off. So I like that, and I do like Franklin. It's a great system. And if I used it, you know how it is when you have a really good system and they tell you how to use it and how it makes the most sense, and you do it another way anyhow.
Yeah.
Well, if I use it closer to how it was
I'm aware of that system.
It has a lot. So I'm back to using that. So watch me soar.
Of course, if you can't figure out how to use a planner by looking at it, it might be a little too much for you. Which is why I always steered away from the big ones like that.
Well,
that seems like it should.
I don't necessarily agree with that, just because of there's concepts. And sometimes we make our own, and in some point, there's a plan. But having a place for everything and everything in its place.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, back in the day when they first started using it, if you put all your information in there, when somebody picked up your planner, they had a lot of information on you.
Right.
So I don't put that much in there anymore. I still leave that on my phone locked behind that thing. But the normal day-to-day stuff, my little appointments, it's just good to write them down, and it helps me think better, I think.
Yeah, it's people can just buy it from Cambridge Analytica or whatever, anywhere you take your phone.
Yeah, really.
It's scary. There's a Netflix documentary out right now called The Big Hack.
The Big what?
The Big Hack or The Great Hack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. And it's about the Facebook Cambridge Analytica thing that happened around the last U.S. presidential election.
Yeah.
and it's scary. It's like, they really did have like 5,000 points of data on most of America.
Wow.
Because you take your phone somewhere, you don't even have to post. It's there if you're letting your apps use GPS in the background.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Google's got to be worse.
Well, Google and Facebook and all those companies. And yeah, I heard an interesting, scary podcast recently. Tim Ferriss had Tristan Harris from the Center for Humane Technology on. And yeah, they were saying, Facebook a couple of years ago deleted 73 million fake users.
Wow.
And here's the problem, is that Facebook's stock took a hit. So they're not incentivized. They're incentivized to keep those bots and everything because the value of the company goes up based on the number of users they have. And there's no incentive to get rid of them other than however your conscience makes you feel.
Little things like privacy,
Well, there's no incentive in that, though.
Right.
It's all about how your conscience makes you feel.
Yeah. And I still get there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
So I'm really skeptical about even friending somebody that I know, because I've got a couple of folks who friended me, and I said, "Hey, I got that friend request from you the other day," and they said, "What? Me? I haven't been on Facebook in 4 weeks." Oh, good to know. Thank you very much.
Oh, is that true? Well, I have evidence that says otherwise. Can you prove this isn't you? No, I can't. The coming deep fake revolution is gonna be nuts.
Yeah, so maybe we should just stop using technology. Yeah, like that'll work. That's like stopping breathing, right?
Yeah, we can change the way we use some tech, but we got 100. We've got 170 podcast episodes. Just here, we've probably said 8,000 different words a piece. So there are recordings of us saying words, and people can just put those together in any order they want, right?
Yeah, don't do that to me. Oh, that's right. Who was it? Who did that? Tim?
Oh, well, somebody did it to Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Had him, fielding an ice hockey team made out of chimps.
Oh wow!
But right after that came out, Duncan Trussell was, his next few podcasts, he got worried about, the combination of spoofing cell phone numbers and deepfakes, because somebody could call you using my phone number and my voice, and we could just have a conversation, which I asked for stuff that maybe you shouldn't give out to a stranger, and suddenly your identity's gone. So he said, well, now, maybe you need to have, passwords with your friends, but then how do you communicate those passwords with, in a way that, in a way that nobody can
won't be compromised.
Pick up on them, right? So, you'd have to do it in person, which is difficult for a lot of people because we're distance isn't an issue, right? Distance isn't an issue with the technology we have. So
well,
this is interesting. This is an interesting time for the paranoid.
It gives us it gives us something else to study. So we just won't worry about that right now. And you stop reading that stuff. Yeah,
right.
So. But anyway, so with 3/4 of the year gone, Mr. Shear, what do you got? What are you looking at for the rest of your year?
The rest of my year, I am going to actually. This is a decision I've made just this past few days. Is to start looking at outlets to contribute to beyond my own. I still work for a news organization, but I don't have a byline with them. So. Some things I would probably be beholden to them for first right of refusal. But I write a lot, particularly, commentary and somewhat more research stuff at joshshear.com, and I've been fairly closed up about sticking to my own sites when really the audiences are elsewhere. It's not that I don't have people reading, but places like Medium and those sort of places have a lot more people. Right. And just because it's not my domain doesn't mean that I shouldn't try writing some stuff for them, especially since I'm writing consistently. It's not like I'm writing, a couple of thousand words for a long post once every 3 months. And some weeks I'm putting up 500 words, some weeks I'm putting up 300, some weeks I'm putting up 2,000, some weeks I'm putting up 1,800. And there's no reason that I couldn't post those either somewhere else instead, or rewrite some of that stuff and combine a few pieces into a longer piece outside of there. Right. Expand that reach is one of the things that I'm going to do with the last 3 months of the year. I'm also it's time to start looking at daycares, and time to start now that we've got the baby on something of a routine, is time to start working exercise back into my day, especially since it's getting cooler out here. I don't have to feel bad about putting her in a stroller in the middle of the day and going out to the lake to walk a couple miles. Right. It's not 95 degrees. She's not going to, be suffering in there. So those are the there you go. Small steps I'm going to take at the end of my year. How about you?
Well, me, you've probably, I have a lot of stuff I've started.
Right.
And the plan is just to continue some of that. I've got to pick one or two things that I absolutely want to finish. And since I'm now writing things down, I did pick up another, we'll call it project for lack of a better term at the moment, that I need to put some specific focus on. But I think what I'm not getting out there a lot right now is my own creative side, which is kind of weird since I do all this talking. Right. But there's some things I really want to do that are just branded to me that I want to put out to the world in a hard copy form, so that it's just there. So I've got to figure out what to do about that. And man, really, Christmas would be a good time to put something out. ish, have it in time for Black Friday. Yeah, anyway, do that kind of thing. And there are some other things in my life that that I haven't been exercising really good discipline on. And I'm getting back the urge to be disciplined and consistent. So, because as it turns out, I've got a pretty decent following, and I've got people who actually enjoy hearing from me. Even aside from our listeners here on JKWD podcast, sometimes they follow me to my other podcast, the Intensely Positive podcast. And a little more consistency with that would be great. So for the remainder of the year, I've got a few things that I'm shoring up, and so I can get ready for the new year, and just kind of, my goal right now is to finish up 2019 with a little bit of a bang. So I've got a nice launch pad for 2020.
Right on.
Yeah. And probably still staying single. So just saying. But you never know. You never know.
What did you say? Catch Me If You Can?
That was a good movie, wasn't it? Yeah, actually. So that's it. So I'm feeling really good about the year. I'm feeling good about my life in general. I'm feeling good about being healthy and loving life. And really, I mean, I've thought about a couple of them. There's no other planet I'd rather be on.
Yeah, this is a pretty good planet.
Even with the problems you've got on this one. And,
yeah. It's the only one with that we're aware of with other people on it.
And it works with air too. So
yeah.
You've got air here, yeah. So may as well make the best. I spend a lot of time telling people, make the best of where you are.
Yeah, so, it's also the only one we know how to return to. Yeah, if you go to Mars right now, we don't know how to get you back.
Well, that's true. Well, I wasn't thinking about going that far out, to be honest. That far out, but
that's the closest other planet.
Closer, huh?
Well, that's the closest other planet. So.
Well, sometimes you just want to get out of the neighborhood. You don't have to stay.
That's right.
But at any rate, so yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and of course I'm looking to continuing working with you and doing some great things. I think we've done some great things since we've been working together. We've interviewed some awesome guests. We've added lots of thought to the universe and brought some good minds to bear. And I'm enjoying that collaboration, and I hope we continue it for a good long time.
Yeah, I've got a pile of potential guests. Maybe pile isn't the right word, because that sounds like now I got a pile of bodies who we might interview.
Well,
what I have is a list of people we might invite.
I was going to say, technically they'll figure out if they're just bodies, it's probably not going to be a good interview. So right. We're good. We love good interviews. So yeah, we're looking to see those, and I bring in some of my own. So I'm looking forward to the rest of this year being good and starting off next year with a bang.
Great.
And let's just. But I don't have a lot of regrets for this year. I've done some good things, so continue the trend and keep building.
Great. Well, let's keep building together and upward and onward. And we thank y'all for coming along for the ride. If you want some good old slow simmered bone broth, go to kettleandfire.com, fill up your box, and use code BetterHumanhood at checkout for 10% off. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Show notes and more at jkwdpodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends, and we will see you next week. Bye. Humanhood production.